Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be going over one of my favorite stocks, and that is Ford Motor Company. I've been invested in Ford for a while now, but I'm really picking up a lot more shares while we're in the $12 range. So I started buying just when we entered this zone. I typically buy every time we either touch the zone or go into it, which has happened quite a few times recently, and that has resulted in very nice gains because obviously it usually gets above the zone and I get paid a very substantial dividend. Right now I believe it's about 6% dividend yield, but I have the exact numbers up here, so I'll show you guys that in a second. So at the moment, Ford is actually one of the best stocks to buy and hold because you can sell calls on it weekly, and let me show you guys what that looks like. So I've got some screenshots here that I took from Robinhood. Here we can see the dividend yield is actually even higher at 6.51%. And when the stock goes down, they actually raise the dividend yield. So when the stock was down here and down here in the zone before, it was about 10%. So that is huge, especially considering how stable Ford typically is. So you're making a lot of money even when the stock goes down, which is crazy to think about. It's also very cheap. So you can easily afford, if you have, a good sized account, you can easily afford buying 100 shares to sell calls on weekly. And let me show you guys what that looks like. So if we take a look at this screenshot I took yesterday before the market opened, so it was a Sunday, um, we can see that if you sell calls at the money, you can make about $20 per week. That is about $80 a month. Now, these are low premiums because Ford is doing decently well, but if it drops down here, I've seen premiums as high as $23 at the money, and so there you're making about $100 a month. So very nice. You're also collecting anywhere from 6 to 10% dividend yield, and the best part is if we go down to their EPS, we can see EPS has been rising, but we're expecting some of the best in about a year, which is very good. And we can see last time in the Q2 earnings, it did very well. So I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to definitely be back into the $15 range sometime, maybe even as soon as later this year, but definitely in the next year or two. We have seen it hit a couple times recently, and that's where I did sell on my first ever forward buy, and I have sold occasionally on some smaller positions. So our biggest forward trades have been like pretty obviously, just when it gets into this zone, and especially when it closes above is when I'll really load up on shares. That's never failed. I was actually holding shares, I probably bought them around here or here, and then I was down on them, but by dollar cost averaging, I am now back up on my position on Ford substantially. Especially with today's move, actually right out of the zone, we can see it made a nice almost 4% move back up. So we're up on Ford. Everything's looking great. Like I said, EPS is expected to do very well again. So we can look to start taking profit on our Ford shares once it hits anywhere above 14.46, because that is the beginning of the consolidation zone where we want to sell Ford shares. So that's my update. I can expect to make $80 a month selling calls plus anything I make from the stock going up and a higher than 6% dividend yield. So that's why I believe Ford to be probably the best and safest stock. It's the best if you don't want to be risking a whole lot of money. So I'll be updating you guys with more videos on Ford. Of course, we'll see what happens with these earnings. But with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be uploading some more videos with other stocks that I'm investing into. So make sure to like and subscribe if you're not already for those upcoming videos.